What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to be taking a look at the top 10 most exciting cards from the Digimon trading card game starter decks. Now, let's be clear, I don't think we can do an actual full-on top 10 here. And the reason is extremely simple. We've not been able to play with the full starter decks, the ones on the app 28 out of 50, so just over half. And similarly, we've not been able to make our own decks, so I don't think we've got enough information to really give a top 10, but I like giving a top 10 of the most exciting cards, the cards I am looking forward to playing with the most. So let's just get straight on in there, and coming in at number 10, we've got the blockers. So Unimon in the yellow deck would show this quite nicely. We've got a 5 cost, if you play normally, a 2 cost to evolve, 6,000 power Digimon with blocker. Incidentally, if you go into the red deck, you've got Kaiser. If you go into the blue deck, you've got Grizzlymon. All three of them are identical except for color. Same cost, same power, same everything. Now, the bad news is when you attack, you lose 2 memory. That's the reason they come in at number 10 here. Already on the app, I have had many games where I've ended up passing the turn or being forced into passing the turn because I've had to attack with 1 or 0 memory, and this is all I've got to attack with. Hey ho. But it's got blocker. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may put this card to rest and directly attack to this card instead. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, it's ridiculous. You need this kind of card, because otherwise you're going to have crazy cards that go nuts. We're going to talk about cards that have extra security attack in a moment, but if they've got security attack plus 7, and you just direct it to your blocker, they don't get their extra security attack, because they're not attacking a stack, they're attacking your Digimon. Coming in at number 9, we've got a lovely little option card. We've got Kaiser Nails. Now, Kaiser Nails is in the blue deck. It is a 4-cost option card, and you choose one of your Digimon's evolution sources and play it as a separate Digimon without paying the cost. And you've got a security skill here whereby you activate the card's main effect, i.e. you do the same thing. And this basically gives you an extra Digimon. Now, there are going to be times you don't want to do this. WarGreymon has security attack plus 1 for every 2 of its evolution sources, and it generally will try and have 4. Bringing it down from 4 to 3 is not a good thing. You don't want that. But there are going to be plenty of times where this just works, where you get yourself an extra Digimon. Next turn, you really need to attack twice in order to win the game, but you've only got 1 Digimon on the field. Hey, look, now you've got 2 Digimon on the field. There's plenty of really good inheritable abilities, like WarGreymon that gives you security attack plus 1 if your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution sources, that you lose when you take them out of your Digimon's evolution line. But there are going to be plenty of times where having that extra Digimon will win you the game. In at number 8, an option card from the red deck, Giga Destroyer. One I don't believe we're actually able to play with on the app right now, Boo Hiss, etc. Now, it is a 6 cost, and that's the reason it's not higher up on the list. It is a very expensive card. But it just lets you destroy up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 power or below. That's a bit ridiculous. It's a bit very ridiculous. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is a little bit nuts, because there are plenty of Digimon out there with 4,000 power or below. If we look, generally speaking, all the level 3s have 4,000 power or below. And then we even see some level 4s like Garurumon, for instance, that comes in with 4,000 power or below. Make no mistake about it, this is going to get a bunch. My biggest issue with this is it is best in the early game, but do you really want to play a 6-cost card in the early game, giving your opponent lots of memory to start setting up with? Maybe not. But make no mistake about it, if you drop this at the right time, you can get rid of basically your opponent's only 2 Digimon, and then there's no evolution or any of that, and that's kind of hilarious. For you, not your opponent. In at number 7, Zhuqiaomon, another one we're not allowed to play with on the app. 6 cost to play normally, 3 cost to evolve, 7,000 power, and incidentally 7,000 power is very good for a level 5, and it doesn't have an inheritable skill, which makes me sad, but when you evolve you remove 2 evolution sources from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. Well, we've already talked about this with Kaiser nails. Sometimes losing evolution sources can be bad. For WarGreymon, you're getting rid of your opponent being able to have security attack +1. Or, I mean, if we look at the Digitama, the baby Digimon that comes around in the red deck, it gives you an extra 1,000 power if you've got 4 evolution sources, which you're not going to have once Zhuqiaomon comes down. I'm not a huge fan necessarily of all of these things that get rid of evolution sources. I don't think they're all necessarily going to be amazing, and their usefulness does vary from game to game, but I do think Zhuqiaomon is really, really good, and I do think it's going to be the best of them. And let's not forget we've got bonuses when there's no evolution sources, like for instance, WarGreymon. If your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution sources, you get security attack +1. Zhuqiaomon can make it happen. In at number 6, we've got another option card. It is Gate of Destiny. It's from the yellow deck, and honestly, if the yellow deck wasn't dominating the list a bit, I might put it higher. It is a 1-cost option card that gives one of your Digimon +3,000 power this turn. Now that alone is really good. 1 cost +3,000 power, yes. The thing is, we've got that with Shadow Wing in the red deck. So why is Gate of Destiny coming on rather than Shadow Wing? Well, you see, it's got a ridiculous security skill, which only comes out when it's a security card. For this turn, all of your Digimon and security Digimon gain +5,000 DP. And then you add it to your hand. Whereas Shadow Wing just gives you security attack +1 and all your Digimon next turn, which may or may not end up being useful. You might not be ready to attack. You get it in your hand to use it in the future, and all of your security Digimon gain 5,000 DP. Now this is going to be a little bit of a theme we see as we go through the rest of the video. Increasing your security Digimon's power is huge. You see, if you destroy a Digimon, it stops attacking. If it's got security attack +3, but the first security Digimon takes it down, it doesn't get the extra 3 security attacks, it's just gone down. Also, your opponent's built up their Digimon. That Digimon gets destroyed. We don't want our opponent attacking our stack, ever, but if they go down the second they do, no extra security attacks, and they've lost their Digimon so they can't use it next turn. Plus you get the card in your hand. This is ridiculous. In at number 5, WarGreymon. A Digimon we've already spoken about a couple of times this video. 12 cost to play normally. Yowza. 4 cost to evolve. Quite expensive. 12,000 power. It is the highest we've seen so far, and it is more than the other level 6s with abilities. Each of the decks have a level 6 of an ability and a vanilla one. This is the highest of the one with abilities. During your turn, for every 2 of this Digimon's evolution sources, it gets security attack +1. And I love this. And I did play a game. If you check out the games I played with the yellow deck when I was grinding, you will see a game where my opponent, the first time they're allowed to attack really, has security attack +2. They took out 3 security cards straight away. It's ridiculous. And it is ridiculous. It's a great card. But there's a reason it's not higher up on the list. And the reason is you've really got to evolve all the way up. This is better when you evolve all the way up. There's no, you know what, I can afford to pay it, I'm just going to drop it. My opponent's given me 10 memory, I'm going to take advantage by dropping this, because then it just basically becomes a vanilla card. Plus, there are ways to reduce security attack which will harm it. And if you come across a security Digimon that destroys you, as I've just mentioned, you don't get the extra security attack. And we've got some really good ways of increasing the power of our security Digimon. And if that happens and WarGreymon gets taken down, you don't get the extra security attack. That's what makes me nervous about WarGreymon. Coming in at number 4, we've got MetalGarurumon, the blue level 6 with an ability. Now, this one's good. It's got 11,000 power, which is slightly lower than we saw on WarGreymon. And then we've still got the same 12 to pay normally, 4 to evolve. But when you attack once per turn, you make this Digimon active. And I really like this. Now, there are ways to really take advantage of this. I mentioned WarGreymon earlier. If your opponent has any Digimon with no evolution sources, you get security attack +1. And then, of course, you make yourself active. So, that's pretty good. But if you attack with this twice, with security attack +1, you actually get security attack +3, attack normally +1, then an extra attack +1, you're attacking 4 rather than 3. That makes it better than WarGreymon. But also, you can be attacking your opponent's Digimon. You don't just attack the security stack, you also are allowed to attack any resting Digimon. So here, this can take out 2 resting Digimon, or it can take out a resting Digimon while also getting an attack in on the stack, etc, etc, and that's why I like it more than something like WarGreymon. The fact that you can make yourself active is, as far as I'm concerned, the second best ability we've seen on a Digimon. In at number 3, Starlight Explosion. A 2-cost option card that give all of your security Digimon an extra 7,000 DP. And if it comes out as a security card, for the rest of this turn, your security Digimon get an extra 7,000 DP. This is ridiculous. Most of the time, playing this card turns into, if you attack the Digimon, it's going down. And maybe it won't. Maybe they'll hit an option or a tamer card, in which case the attacking Digimon takes no damage, but that is a heck of a risk. Even something like a WarGreymon coming in with 12,000 power, yeah, if they hit a 5,000 power Digimon, they're going down here. This basically buys you a turn of your opponent not attacking your security stack, and for that reason I feel very confident putting it this high up on the list. We've talked about increasing the power of your security Digimon, and this is one of the best ways to do it. Though I don't think it's the best way, in at number 2, Takaishi, which is the green tamer, the only tamer I've actually put on this list, and it just gives you plus 2,000 power for all of your security Digimon. It's ridiculous. If it comes out as a security card, it just gets played without paying the cost, and it gives all of your Digimon 2,000 power if they're a security Digimon. And why I like this more than something like Starlight Explosion, which is a top 3 card for me, and I've told you I love it, it's permanent and it gets more. 1 of these plus 2,000, 2 of these plus 4,000, 3 plus 6,000. If you can get 4 of these out and you're allowed to play 4 and they do stack, all of your security Digimon get an extra 8,000 power for the game. Which basically means for the game, every time your opponent attacks your security stack, that Digimon is being destroyed unless they're lucky enough to hit an option or a tamer card. And it is so difficult to actually get that working. It is absolutely just... It turns into this ridiculous situation where your opponent can build up essentially as big a Digimon as they like, but it's going down and getting destroyed when they attack the stack. But then Yellow's got all of those tricks. They can go, ha ha ha, I'm playing really weak Digimon because it doesn't matter because they're getting destroyed anyway. Brilliant. I'm going to drop that option card that reduces your DP by 2,000 and then you get destroyed. It's dumb. Speaking of which, in at number 1, we've got Seraphamon. Seraphamon's ridiculous. I feel very confident calling this the best card in the starter decks. Now, it's the evolving level 6 that we see in the yellow deck, and it's got 10,000 power, which is the lowest we've seen so far. Still same 12 cost and 4 to evolve. But when you attack, you choose one of your opponent's Digimon and give it minus 4,000 power for the turn. Yeah, so if they're trying not to play beefy Digimon because your security Digimon are too powerful, in comes Zhuqiaomon. Plus, you can evolve it from MetalGarurumon, and then you reduce the Digimon's power by 1,000 when you're attacking. So now that's 5,000. And you can still play Heaven's Charm, and then all of a sudden your opponent's got a 7,000 power Digimon, and you're taking it down while either attacking another resting Digimon or attacking a security stack. And that's why I think the yellow deck is so good. You get to be attacking the stack or arresting Digimon while taking out other Digimon in the process. It's ridiculous. An early Zhuqiaomon can basically end the game. An early WarGreymon is good, but it can still be taken down and then you make a comeback, and I did that. If you see my playthrough with the yellow deck, you will see a game where my opponent got, turn 2, basically early as possible, because you got to take a turn to get the egg and then a turn to bring it out. Basically, the earliest possible WarGreymon security attack +2, but then Zhuqiaomon was able to take it down, and then for the rest of the game, I'm just pinging his little Digimon while he's not able to get rolling. Zhuqiaomon is nuts, and I feel extremely confident calling it the best, or if you prefer, the most exciting of the cards in the Digimon starter decks. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's my theory, that's my list, that's my top 10, but I would really like to know your top 10. And for those of you that are new to this channel because of Digimon, I have a rule with top 10s. You can't just tell me this card should be higher. You've got to tell me what you would lower in its place. You can't just tell me to lower a card, you got to tell me what to put up in its place. And if you give me a full top 10, we can be friends. Go nuts in the comment section, but please remember the rule. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other games. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.